Hey there! Welcome back to Bizarrely Brilliant. We've all taken a selfie that we're not too proud of, but these folks took it to a whole new level. Today, we're diving into the unbelievable world of people who, believe it or not, incriminated themselves with their own selfies. So, sit back, grab some popcorn, and let's dive into these jaw-dropping stories. And remember, if you enjoy our content, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications. Now, let's get started. Number 10. Two California women. The Roman Colosseum, constructed in the 1st century AD, is a cultural and historical landmark that is revered and admired worldwide, with the possible exception of two women from California. While visiting the old amphitheater in March of 2015, these tourists obviously did not respect it enough to abstain from cutting their initials into its facade. The vandals were young adults at the time of the incident. Even though there were notices posted in both English and Italian telling tourists not to vandalize the property, the women were reportedly shocked when they were arrested. There was no disputing the evidence the police had that the tourists had perpetrated aggravated damage on a building of historical and artistic interest. The vandals had cut their initials into the Colosseum wall and had even taken a selfie in front of it. Number 9. Cheyenne Rose Antoine. A Canadian man discovered the body of a young woman beside a road not far from Saskatoon's landfill. Although her shoeless body was cold, she was still alive, although barely. A belt lay close by. The victim was transported to a hospital, but she died soon after her arrival. By making photographs of the 18-year-old woman's tattoos, broken watch, and jacket available to the public, police learned her identity. Her name was Brittany Jane Gargole. The authorities' investigation also linked the victim to Cheyenne Rose Antoine. On the night of Gargole's death, the two women had gone bar hopping. Antoine told the investigators, but police proved that the suspect's story wasn't true. A surveillance camera at one of the bars the women supposedly visited showed no sign of their presence. Investigators also discovered that, on the night of the murder, Antoine had told a friend she had argued with and subsequently murdered Gargole, whom she had first hit and then strangled. The clincher to the case was a selfie that Antoine had posted on Facebook. The photograph showed her wearing the murder weapon, Gargole's belt, which had been found near the victim's body. On a previous occasion, Antoine had posted another message. Addressed to the murder victim, it read, "Where are you? Haven't heard from you. Hope you made it home safe." On March 25, 2015, as part of a plea deal, Antoine pleaded guilty to having murdered Gargole and received a 7-year prison sentence. Number 8. Adam Howe. Adam Howe, then 26 years old, stole $10,000 in 2014 by breaking into a structure and an RV on the property of the Hilltop Tabernacle Church in Chula Vista, California. He was caught red-handed for burglary because to the selfie he had taken on his phone before leaving the scene. Howe was accused of taking money, a laptop computer, and several handbags and wristwatches from the building and an RV. The background in the selfie has landmarks that the sleuthing investigator could identify. After speaking with witnesses at the scene, who recognized the selfie suspect, the detective was directed to other locations that Howe frequented. Howe was tracked down to one of these spots, and a search of his belongings turned up some of the stolen things from the church and the RV. Howe was given 3 years of probation with time already spent taken into account. Number 7. Tommy Beverly. Tommy Beverly, then aged 27, was apprehended in connection with some of the stolen goods. The suspect in the July 2018 heist in Shreveport, Louisiana, appeared to have been unable to resist the temptation to document the event by taking multiple selfies with at least one of the stolen cell phones. After Beverly took some photos of himself with the stolen device's camera, the owner's predetermined setting kicked in and uploaded the images to the cloud. The location of the cell phone was reported to police 3 days after the crime, and a tip led them to the perpetrator. Number 6. Travis Berkeley. Donta H. Williams sprayed synthetic versions of the euphoric element in marijuana, known as K2 or spice, at his house, which Berkeley afterwards robbed. Michelle Williams, trying to defend her husband Donta, caught Berkeley by surprise, and Berkeley, claiming to be accompanied by a relative, murdered both of them before turning his attention to the other victims. The victims, Caleb Jordan, Javoni Liddell, Charles Hardy, Donald Smith, Michelle Williams, and Donta Williams, were all identified by police and found to have been killed by Berkeley on his own. Berkeley, 35 at the time, was charged with the 6 slayings on January 27, 2023. However, because he lacked the mental capacity to stand trial, the case had to be put on hold. The prosecution has indicated that they may seek to have Berkeley committed to a mental institution or placed in protective custody. In a bizarre turn of events, authorities discovered a selfie on Berkeley's phone while investigating the case. The shot was taken in the basement where he dumped the bodies of his victims. The killer in the photo is seen wearing Donta's sunglasses, linking him to the attacks. Number 5. Cecily Aguilar. Based on the account provided by journalist Divya Kishore, it was reported that Army Specialist Aaron David Robinson, aged 20, took his own life on July 1, 2020, subsequent to the act of killing Private First Class Vanessa Guillen, also 20 years old. The potential motivation behind the murder could be linked to Guillen's prior disclosure to her family on her experience of harassment at Fort Hood, Texas. Cecily Aguilar, who has been speculated by certain sources to have had a prior relationship with Robinson as either his estranged wife or girlfriend, was apprehended on the same day. During her statement, the individual admitted to law enforcement officials that Robinson had utilized a hammer to cause the demise of Guillen. Subsequently, Guillen's remains were concealed within a container, which Robinson proceeded to transport away from the military installation. At the conclusion of Aguilar's work shift, he transported her to a location adjacent to the Leon River, where they employed a hatchet or axe and a machete-like knife to sever Guillen's limbs and decapitate her. Subsequently, an endeavor was made to incinerate her remains, followed by their interment in 3 distinct locations. Evidently, Aguilar's actions of dismembering and burying the victim's body were insufficient. The woman from Belton, Texas, was additionally required to provide self-portraits accompanied by distressing commentary on the social media platform Instagram. The final installment, published on May 25th, is notably egregious due to its excessive use of hashtags. The statement, "People who combat fire with fire ultimately find themselves burdened with the remnants of their own moral uprightness," is particularly striking. Number 4. Danielle Saxton. Apparently, Danielle Saxton, 27, felt that she just had to have the dress and the jewelry that she saw at Morty's boutique in West Frankfort, Illinois. She also seemed to have been overcome by a desire to show off her new ensemble. After allegedly stealing the garment and the jewelry, she posted a selfie in which she was attired in her new acquisitions, modeling them on Facebook. Her picture caught the eye of one of the social media platform's visitors, who mentioned the photograph to the boutique's owner, Gay Morton, who in turn notified the police. Police charged Saxton with theft under $500 and with failure to appear in court concerning another unrelated charge. Number 3. Donald A. Pugh. Donald A. Pugh, or Chip, age 45, took offense to the photos of himself that Lima, Ohio police shared on social media after they identified him as a person of interest in the investigation of multiple crimes. One picture seems to have been taken at an awkward angle, while another captures his appearance right down to the beard on his face. The final shot, though, is one of which Pugh approves. Perhaps he will. The police wrote, "This photo was sent to us by Mr. Pugh himself," in response to the selfie. Pugh accompanied his selfie with the words, "Here is a better photo." As an extra note, the police said, "We thank him for being helpful, but now we would appreciate it if he would come speak to us at the LPD about his charges." An anonymous tip led to Pugh's arrest in Century, Florida. Pugh complained that the suspect's mugshot from the police made him look like he was a Thundercats, which is why he sent the selfie to the police. Lima police commended their counterparts in Escambia County, Florida, as well as social media and anonymous tipsters for their assistance in capturing Pugh. Number 2. Ashley Keast. The story was summed up by the BBC News title, which read, "Bungling Rotherham burglar snared by selfie." Ashley Keast, 25, was arrested for burglary and taking a self-incriminating selfie after he stole electronics, jewelry, and an Audi A4 worth a total of £27,000 from a property in Rotherham, Yorkshire, England. By inserting the SIM card he had stolen into a new phone, he was able to send the picture of himself using the popular messaging service WhatsApp. Inadvertently, he also forwarded the photo to the victim's workplace, where it was seen by witnesses who called the police. Officers detained him the following day at his own home after discovering a stolen Rolex watch worth £4,000 stashed behind a radiator. And Keast did cop to breaking the terms of his suspended sentence. Topping the list at number 1, Adam Hossein Nayeri. Hossein Adam prisoners, like Nayeri and his roommates in Orange County, California's Module F, a maximum security dorm styled after U.S. Army barracks from World War II, were dissatisfied with their living conditions. They made the executive decision to make their escape, and they obtained cell phones on which they videotaped their escape. Nayeri adds a constant, sometimes mocking commentary over the footage in a voiceover. The video was shown on Channel 4 NBC Los Angeles with a disclaimer explaining that copyright considerations necessitated cutting out the original soundtrack and obscuring the faces of jail inmates who do not appear to be connected to the case. The fugitives left the hostel through a metal screen in the wall that had been cut earlier and concealed by a chopped bunk bed. The inmates then climbed to the roof using plumbing shafts, where they had already removed metal bars. Nayeri stated that the men had industrial rope, a toolbox, a duffel bag, and new clothes. Yet the film does not show their descent to the earth. They continued their selfies once they were free, taking turns posing on a corner in San Francisco's Haight-Ashbury while holding up the van where they slept and the marijuana and Jack Daniels they apparently intended to use for a party. Vicky Vargas of Channel 4 pointed out, however, that the detainees' footage omitted the moment hours later when they were arrested. Prison officials will likely use the embarrassing selfie as evidence against the escapees and as a way to tighten security at the facility. The Orange County District Attorney's Office would only say that, due to pending litigation, they cannot comment on the video. It's truly mind-boggling how a simple selfie can turn the tables around. Remember, the internet never forgets, so think twice before you snap that pic. If you found these stories as intriguing as we did, don't forget to hit that like button and share this video with your friends. They might think twice before taking their next selfie. And hey, if you're new here at Bizarrely Brilliant, we delve into fascinating stories like these every week. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell icon to stay updated on our latest videos. Before we sign off, we'd love to hear from you. Which of these stories shocked you the most? Do you have any crazy selfie stories to share? Drop a comment below. We can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, stay brilliant. See you in the next video.